You know, when people see this matchup on paper, right, they kind of have some presumptions. They sort of think, oh, are the UFC trying to build Paddy off the name of Tony Ferguson? When you got Paddy's name across the desk, what did you think about it?
I thought he was fat. I don't know if he was going to make weight. All jokes aside, I always have these hashtags. So coming after Patty Cakes was pretty easy, especially when he started talking shit. Got the kid nervous. So I think it's a great matchup. Obviously, he's got a winning record. I got a losing record right now with that. But overall, I have a lot more fights and experience, and I'm going to cut this kid, man.
And when they came to you with Tony, was that kind of best case scenario for you? Like, obviously, one of the more popular names in UFC history, and trying to erase the image of last fight against a big, exciting name like Tony Ferguson?
Yeah, of course. As I always say, I'll never say no to a fight. So when his name was on the contract, I signed it. The funny thing was, there was a fake card going around, wasn't there, for UFC 296 with like McGregor on and O'Malley, and it was me versus Tony. So I was getting asked by everyone, "You're fighting Tony Ferguson? You're fighting Tony Ferguson?" I was like, "Nah, lad, nah." And then literally 4 weeks later or something, I got a contract through with Tony's name on. But yeah, as I say, it's an honour to be able to fight Tony Ferguson, one of the best lightweights of all time. When I was a kid watching the UFC at like 15, 16, when I just started training, like he was in the UFC then. I was watching him fight then. So it's like that cliche saying, when your heroes become your rivals. But it's one of them, lad. Even I want to see Tony go out on a win, but I can't let him do it at my expense, lad. It's not happening.
You know, we see these prospects come and go in this sport, right? And some of them, they hit the stage, you think, wow, this guy's real special. And other them, they kind of stumble and maybe their skills don't match the hype. When you look at Paddy as a prospect, what do you think of him and his ability in the cage?
He's a fighter and he's in my way. I don't really have too many words for it. The seriousness comes out the closer we get to fight. He's worried about me blocking him on Instagram, and I'm like, you're a little bitch. It's like, if you're going to talk shit, man up and keep your balls between your legs. Don't drop them like a little bitch.
He actually said about that earlier today when he was here that you might be the sensitive one if you're the one blocking him on Instagram.
I just didn't want to see his bullshit. I know he's all about the YouTube and all the other things, and he's got his wigs and a crowd and everything. I'm not here to have fun. I might have did that before, like, taking some chances, giving these fighters like an alley-oop to where they're at right now. But I'm not around anymore. Like, I can point and prove that through my team. I don't have to show anybody anything. But after a session, when everybody's clapping, it's not because they're doing it to try to hype you up. Or when you're cracking pads and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit, this is different kind of sound. And the other day, I had to tell somebody to shut the fuck up because they were being really loud when I was doing my Brett Okamoto interview, and they came in the room and they said, well, you could be a little bit more nice. And I said, fuck you. I'm not here to be everybody's friend. I'm not here to give hugs to everybody. I'm not here to do that shit no more. I had, Chief Goggins. I got my other teammates, and I have my other trainers that really help center my shit. And if you're not my wife and my kids or my team, I'm going to say fuck off. I'm here until after the fight, and then you guys can be nice. I'll be nice.
And in his fight, like especially against like his Justin Gaethje fight, he was pretending to throw sand. He was doing all of this other odd things in there. So did you see that, and how do you prepare for something like so unexpected like that?
Someone mentioned this before. Actually, I'll have to pretend to be a wizard and get a wand out. You know what I mean? If he starts doing all that.
I watched the interview and you said you're not expecting like the slow Tony Ferguson that showed up against Bobby Green. So while you're watching this as a fan, are you just noticing like every fight to fight, like Tony's speed and everything is drastically kind of dwindling at this point?
Yeah, of course. But that's what happens when you get to that age. You know what I mean? He's 40 in a few months, and I think over the years he's relied on his athleticism and his speed to get him out of certain situations, and obviously when you get to 39 you lose all that. But I've trained for the Tony what turned up against Donald Cerrone and Anthony Pettis and Edson Barboza and Kevin Lee. You know what I mean? I haven't prepared for the Tony what turned up against Bobby Green and Nate Diaz.
When you look at this fight, it's against the younger guy, right? The flashier guy maybe, but how do you get it done on Saturday night?
I'm going to hit him hard. I'm going to set the pace. I'm going to make his face a ketchup sandwich is what I tell my kid. And I'm going to go in there and use my blades and my my technique. I say shades, but I can't bring my shades in there. If I could, I'd fucking fight with sunglasses, you bastards. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do work. My confidence is fully there. Everybody's worrying about me just doing cardio and, oh, you haven't posted your sparring or you haven't posted pad work and you haven't. Bitch, I don't need to post that shit for you guys. I really don't. You guys can go look at other people's pages and then get that shit off of that and then come back to my page and bitch and moan. You know, you guys can go and do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and you guys are going to watch me regardless this Saturday.
Paddy, do you think when you're in there and you look across and you see Tony, part of it will be a little bit surreal, that you're literally like looking at Tony Ferguson being like, oh yeah, we're about to fight?
Yeah, it will. Like, it'll be a little bit surreal, but at the same time, as I always say, it doesn't matter. The only people what matter in that moment is me, him, and the referee. No one else on this earth matters, and I'll show that on the night.
Because you're a fan of him, right, does that make preparing for this fight a little bit different? You know, like Jose said, he throws a sand. You've seen that before, right? So if he does it to you, you're just going to sort of recognize it. And even his pre-fight talk, he said in an interview with ESPN, you're more worried about him blocking you on Instagram, and when he cuts you, you'll be running home to mama and stuff like that. But you've heard that stuff before from Tony. So does it bother you at all? Does it get a rise, or you just think, oh, it's the Tony show?
Yeah, that's just Tony. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for him to say I've got Dana White privilege, to be honest. That's the one thing I haven't heard him say yet. I can't believe he said I was sensitive, though. You blocked me, mate.
How did you find out he blocked you, actually?
One of my mates said to me, oh, Tony's on his way to Vegas. So I was like, oh, is he? I went to look at his story, and he'd blocked me. You know what I mean? Bit of a weird one, like, shows I'm in his head.
Tony, when you linked up with Mr. Goggins first, was that, when you reached out to him, was it to get physically right? Was it to get like a mental focus thing? Or why specifically did you want to train with him?
I've said it before, that's classified. It was like I said, I needed it. I really did. I haven't had somebody push me like that and not float my balloon any more higher than it needed to be. It needed to get to where it needed was. I needed to throw up. I needed to get yelled at. I needed to go through that fucking hell weekend. It was not easy. I know there's not one other person in this world that could have went through that mental stuff, the physical, the emotional. Bringing whatever I had to bring in there was everything I had to give. And I still have more to give. And that's why this weekend I'm going to show it.
And I think you're one of the more tenured fighters, if not the most tenured fighters on this fight card, having fought in the UFC the longest. So obviously you've seen the prospects come and go to the lightweight division. So I'm curious, where does this hype around Paddy kind of rank in your mind and from all the past future contenders you've seen?
I don't know the hype. I don't pay attention to the bullshit. I just know that he talks a lot and I can't understand him half the time. And I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I'm not here to entertain him. I'm not here. The last time I entertained a young fighter like that was Landon Venata. And he dotted me, little fucker. You know, props. What's up, Landon? I always said that, but I'm not doing that again. I'm not taking it easy on anybody. I'm not here to alley-oop any other fucking dudes. I'm not sandbagging. I'm here. I'm back to where I needed to be. Much better than I ever have been. I'm faster. I'm stronger. I'm more mentally strong than any fucking person that's going to be here that walks through these fucking cage walls, that has ever been through these cage walls. You guys will see on Saturday, it's hardly not going to be the same me. It's a lot tougher now.
You mentioned this is a lose-lose fight for you a couple of weeks back. Are you feeling a little bit different about it now, closer to it?
Nah, still a lose-lose situation, lad, because when I win, everyone's just going to be like, oh, he beat a washed-up Tony Ferguson, he's already finished, blah, blah, this and that, even though he's fought a murderer's row of lightweights up until he fought Bobby Green. And if it did somehow happen to lose, lad, people are like, oh, cut him, he's being beat by a washed Tony Ferguson who should be cut. So it is a lose-lose situation, but as I say, when a name gets put on a contract to me, I won't turn it down. It made me laugh, people on the Twitter experts and the internet experts saying that I turned down a rematch with Jared Gordon and I turned down a fight with Drew Dober. I've never been offered either of them again.
Tony, over here. Speaking of your longevity, I guess, what are kind of the goals right now for you? Obviously, go out there, get a win on Saturday, but what kind of keeps you going and doing all this stuff and reinventing yourself and putting yourself through these really hard, grueling workouts? What gets you up in the morning?
My breakfast. I mean, what gets me up in the morning? What gets you up in the morning? For every
And,
person.
like, what keeps you motivated to fight?
Hold on, brother. I'm talking.
Apologize.
Being real. Like, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. Like, I'm smiling. I'm having fun. Usually my interviews are really super serious, and they're doing that. It would be serious, and life would be a lot harder if I wasn't working harder. But I find myself getting up in the morning, easy, wanting to do the next fucking thing. Like, it's no doubt. Like, I go to bed late because I have to finish my sets. If I'm not finishing my sets, I get up early in the morning and I do it again. But I set these goals for myself, and I don't even think twice about it. I have to say, training with Chief, it really helped set the standard. I was doing that before, but then it was a lot easier when I got through Hell Week because it was just automatic now. It's where I needed to be. It was the military style where I needed to be, almost like when I was at Grand Valley State. You know, most of my coaches are military too, and I react very well with that. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be somewhere else. And waking up would be the exact same fucking thing, which is fucking seizing the day and that devil being like, holy shit, he's up again.